Good morning. It is currently 6:13 a.m. on Tuesday, April 7th, 2015. I'm Christiana Ellis, and this is 5 More Minutes. I just got up. That was the thing that I usually say in between those two last things. An auspicious beginning to episode 100. Yay! 100 episodes of 5 More Minutes, and by sheer dumb coincidence, tomorrow is my birthday. I will be 37. So that could be a sign, right? Like the fact that episode 100 and my birthday are one day apart, and it's a metaphor of how in life nothing seems to line up perfectly the way you would like. I don't know. Certainly way back when I decided to start doing this every day, it's not as though I had in mind. It's like, oh yeah, totally, and if I start today, then it'll be 100 on my birthday. It's just a dumb coincidence that it's even as close as it is. But I don't know, that seems fitting in some way, just in the sense that any kind of creative endeavor is a little messy like that. You know, and anniversaries of any kind tends to just get me thinking about, what sorts of things am I putting my creative energies into? And, there's always the angst sometimes that you can get when you're trying to decide what to work on, So I've got my improv classes, I've got these videos, I've got my writing on various different projects. I've got other podcasts. What am I putting my creative energies into? And are those the right things? Am I doing them the right way? Should I be working harder to make these videos more about structure? Should I be spending my time on them at all? All of these things are just questions that, can be very troubling. It's not that it makes it any more entertaining to go through, but lots of times people who do any kind of creative project can talk about the inner critic, or even imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome in this context would just be the occasional feelings of, what are you even doing? Why do you think anybody even cares? Why not just be a normal person who doesn't have to write and podcast and stuff all the time? That sort of feeling that I don't deal with all that much, especially as I get a little older, because I'm much more on the, I've come a little bit more to the realization that, hey, you know what? If I like doing it, I can do it regardless of whether anybody else cares. And so at the very least, I typically don't have the that feeling of that I should stop doing it altogether. But at the same time, there can be this wondering of like, should I be pushing hard to try to be able to do creative stuff full time instead of just as a hobby? Or am I fooling myself that I'm really that good? Or, I don't know. The point is that there's all these questions, and you can never really know the answers. It's a therapist that I had who helped me through a lot of hard stuff once told me all decisions are made with insufficient information. For example, I hear Luna making some kind of noise in the other room, and I don't know what it is. So my decision to not go and check on her right now is based on insufficient information. I don't know what it is that she's into. Maybe it's serious. Probably not. But I don't know. I'm rambling. Can you tell? Any case, what I wanted to get at with the idea of the inner critic is that frequently any kind of a creative person's relationship with their inner critic is fraught with tension, because the inner critic is the one that's telling you it's not good enough. But we have to remember, in those times where we feel like we're constantly having to shield ourselves against our own inner critic, I hear weird noises from the other room right now, you guys. I'm going to have to go check on her in a minute. Okay. In any creative person's relationship with the inner critic, we're always trying to shield ourselves and reassure ourselves and affirm ourselves. And I would never say that you shouldn't do that. Linda has returned from the other room, apparently, having conquered whatever it was she was struggling with or investigating. If I could finish a thought. Okay. We shield ourselves from the inner critic. Sometimes we might even hate the inner critic. But we have to remember, too, that the inner critic is what allows us to improve. If you were to write something, or paint something, or compose a song, or whatever it is, the ability that you have to listen back to it, or read it back, or look at it and say, hey, you know what, this piece right there, that's not good. Maybe I should redo that part. Or, hey, you know what, I've got kind of a plot hole right here that needs to be fixed. Or, hey, would this character really say that? It's the inner critic that allows you to do that. So, it's a relationship with your inner critic, right? What you have to do is listen to what they have to say, decide which of those things are fixable and which of those things are unreasonable. For example, if you feel like, would that character really say that? If you're having that instinct, the answer is maybe no, and maybe it needs to be improved. But on the other hand, if the inner critic is saying, why are you even bothering? This is a waste of time. That one maybe you shouldn't listen to. And all of creative life is riding that balance. In any case, I'm riding the balance. Sometimes wobbling. So, as far as it goes to doing whatever kind of creative stuff you want, I like 5 more minutes. I'm going to keep doing it for a while. How long is that while? I don't know. I had no idea how long it would be when I started it. It reminds me of doing Christiana's Shallow Thoughts a few years back. Wasn't sure how long I'd do it then, and I did it for a whole year. Will I do this for a year? Longer? I don't know. I'm going to do it till, I don't feel like it anymore. And so, at the very least, that's going to include tomorrow. So, remember, you can find everything that I do at christianaellis.com. And I'll talk to you tomorrow for 5 more minutes.